Here's a name that you've heard over the years: Garland Leon Martin, also known as Butch. He's a Midland man who's been in prison since 1999. He's back in court trying to get his conviction overturned. Now, just the name is enough to take a lot of people back to a very dark place. That includes friends of his late wife, Marcia Pool. They tell Christina Burgess Butch is where he belongs, behind bars. Christina?
Well, yeah, Tatum, Allison Clayton, Butch's attorney with the Innocence Project, still firmly believes her client is innocent of the crime he's been serving time for. But as for the friends of Marcia Pool, his late wife, they are speaking out about abuse they say she allegedly suffered from Martin years ago.
My family and then friends of Marcia also got the news that he was in court this week trying to get his conviction overturned. I think it was initial shock and anger.
Misty Birch was only a teenager when Butch Martin was sentenced to prison for the deaths of her family friend, Marcia Pool, and their 2 children.
I loved them. I loved those babies so much. And I love Marcia. Marcia was my favorite person ever.
It's a day she says she's never forgotten, even 20 years later.
On that initial day, I think it was just shock. Like, how could someone that I and my family trusted and we were around often, I just really can't even imagine this man walking free. Like, it's devastating. It opens up a lot of wounds as well, like revisiting all of that.
She recalls seeing marks on Marcia's body from abuse she had allegedly suffered from Martin.
So I witnessed her coming over to my house with the black eyes and, you know, that kind of thing, the verbal and mental and emotional abuse. There were black eyes, there were bite marks on her shoulders, scratches on her, frequently.
Luana Burrows, another longtime friend of Marcia, remembers similar occurrences.
In the middle of the night, I hear Marcia screaming my name. My husband and I ran to her room and to find Butch on top of her, choking her. He had both hands around her neck and he was biting her on her shoulder. When I flipped the lights on, he jumped off of her.
Because of the abuse the women say they witnessed, both women believe Butch should not be released from prison.
Having him walk free would be an insult to them.
And even over 20 years later, they say they'll never forget.
I just miss them. I miss them a lot, and I think about them often. February 25th every year is a day that I'm barely able to get out of bed just because that's the day that it happened. And it's really affected my life. Even now, I'm 39 years old, and that happened when I was a kid.
Now, his attorney, Allison Clayton, tells me they are still working towards proving his innocence.
We represent him because we believe in him. And we've been working on this case for years, and we are just staunchly in favor of the fact that Butch is innocent.
And as for right now, Martin is still waiting for the Texas Court of Criminal Appeals to make their decision on if his case will be overturned. Back to you, Tatum.